man. Hey, y'all, when you look at this photograph of Antonio Tarver, man, you can't help but to bust out in the laugh. Like, dude, I was dying. I busted out. I was dying laughing, bro. Okay, Antonio Tarver rips Deontay Wilder and Malik Scott, man. He rips them a whole new one. And I agree with some of the stuff that he said. I disagree with a few things, but I agree with some of the stuff he's saying. Like, number one, I said the same thing. I don't think Deontay Wilder should be backing up. For what? Okay, in fact, I used to tell people, and people used to make fun of Wilder, calling him Windmill Wilder. I said, to be honest, you can't prepare for that. Nope. I like Deontay Wilder is a genius because this man has took an unorthodox style of fighting and he makes it work. Because have you seen some of the people when he was doing the windmill? How many people could actually defend that? No, you had to avoid it. You had to avoid it. Because if you stood in the pocket while he was doing that, either you were going to catch him or you were going to get caught in that windmill. That's what you were going to get. And Deontay Wilder actually learned how to fight within that style. See, the reason why people knocked it so bad because it was unorthodox. And it wasn't traditional boxing. But that's what made Deontay Wilder special. Is because he could take that form and this man could go in there and win. And I think just people hated it because he wasn't a pure boxer. But that's okay. Because him being a pure boxer, that wasn't what made him a good fighter. It wasn't what made him a good fighter, in my opinion. It's the unknown with Deontay Wilder. But you take a guy, Deontay Wilder, he's very flat-footed. So when you put a guy like that on his back foot and you got him backing up, he can't fight off his back foot. He's not going to excel fighting off his back foot because he can't do it. And I've said that for a while, and I don't know, was this Malik Scott's game plan? I don't know. I just think that game plan is all wrong for Wilder. That's not the right game plan. See, Antonio Tarver said some things that I actually agree with. Like, number one, he said, these guys are not training in this era the way they're supposed to be training. And I have to agree. Now, the exception to the rule for me is Bud Crawford, probably Devin Haney, and Floyd Mayweather Jr. when he was active. I think they were the exception to the rule. Because I remember at one point, Bud got up to 175 pounds in between a fight. And I heard Bud say it out of his own mouth. He said, hey, I'm never going to let myself get that heavy again. I'm going to stay 15 to 20 pounds within my fight weight. And Bud Crawford has actually done that. He's done that now since that time he got on that scale. Bud Crawford works extremely hard in his craft. The man works extremely hard. And you rarely see Bud Crawford outclassed. Bud Crawford done took some shots. He's been dropped before. But you look at the fighter Bud Crawford, and I think that he's a guy that's doing it right. I thought Floyd Mayweather, you heard about the stories of Floyd Mayweather. Like, the guy, the guy getting up in the middle of the night, going to go run. The guy leaving a club, going, put on some darn running boots, or some big-ass Timberland boots, and this dude going to go run 10 miles. Like, you've heard the stories, like Floyd, the amount of work, like Floyd training 4-5 times a day. Like, just a sick work ethic. Like, you've even had opposing trainers like Alex Ariza come into the camp and say, I see why Floyd Mayweather was undefeated. He said, man, his training schedule is sick, is savage. He said Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s training schedule is savage. Like, he said, man, I don't even understand how he's able to train as many times. And then, the more that he trained, the better he looks. Crazy, man. But see, these guys and Devin Haney, they got a sick work ethic. Very sick. It's extreme. The people say, Coach, why ain't you talking about Manny Pacquiao? See, to me, Manny Pacquiao is a celebrity. Like, they run the show. And I think Manny does some things. But, man, when he was with Freddie Roach, man, he used to tell Freddie Roach what to do. Literally. He used to tell Freddie Roach what to do. Told Freddie what he was going to do. And I heard Deontay Wilder do the same thing. I heard Deontay Wilder dictates, what they're going to train, what he working on. This is what I heard. Now, I'm not sure that this is true. But I did hear that Deontay Wilder dictates to the trainer what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. I think Deontay Wilder would need somebody like an Antonio Tarver who would tell him, you're going to do what the hell I tell you to do. You're going to do what the hell I tell you to do. We're going to do it this way. We're not doing it the way you want. And I've also heard, I've seen Wilder on a track, but I've heard that Wilder don't do road work. Now, it's neither here nor there. Running on a track is good. It's good. But road work, what Antonio Tarver's talking about, getting out there on that road and running those miles daily, okay? 5 to 6, 7 miles. Like Antonio Tarver used to run miles every day. 5 to 10 miles, man, when he was in training camp. This guy's a big believer in road work. And, Deontay, I heard he don't do it. I even heard Valentina Shevchenko don't do road work. But, my thing is, if I'm a trainer and I'm looking at this, you got to do road work. Road work will actually increase your lung capacity. Now you can say you're sparring and that's you're going to get in shape sparring. Yeah, you do, but it's different because the road work is adding to your stamina. It's increasing your stamina. So you'll be able to go in there and do what it is you have to do. Okay, you'll be able to complete the fight and not, trying to cough up a lung. Like, the road work is imperative. And I don't even think a lot of fighters understand how imperative road. Sprints, they're okay, it's good to do, but you need that road work. Because you got 3-minute rounds, 12 3-minute rounds. I mean, I don't know, do you think, sprint work on the track, do you think that that's going to give you that 12 3-minute round stamina? That road work, man, you got to build those legs up. I just hear Deontay Wilder isn't really interested in doing road work. Now, I think Deontay Wilder does do some things right, I think he does some things right, but I think Antonio Tarver is right. And there needs to be, they need to train the way they're supposed to train. They need to train. They need to get in there and really do a training camp. I'm talking about a hardcore, intense training camp. Nothing missed. Everything. Be on a schedule. Do it the way that Tarver was suggesting. He's saying, he said, look, I'll do it for free. And I respect that. I respect that in Antonio Tarver. The man said he'd do it for free to show these guys how to be a winner. And I'm not saying Antonio Tarver is perfect. His career wasn't perfect. But, he was a good fighter. He was a hell of a fighter. And he's had a lot of experiences. And he's saying that these trainers, they're lacking balls, is what he said. He said these guys are lacking testicles. They're lacking testicles. They don't have the balls to tell these fighters what the hell they need to do. They're pacifying these damn fighters. And excuse the rain. He's saying they're pacifying these fighters, They're babying them. Letting these guys run the show. And that's not how it's supposed to be. Okay, if you're training a fighter, you're the trainer. You have to dictate the training camps. You got to dictate what's going on daily. And if you're an experienced trainer and you know what a training camp is supposed to look like, how do you let a fighter do that shit? Like, how do you let a fighter dictate training camp? I never seem to understand that. How do you do it? And I'm not saying that this is why they're doing this. This is alleged. Okay, this is all allegedly. But what I am saying is that I do agree with Tarver that these guys are not doing what they're supposed to be doing in training. That's what I say. And Mark Breland, he kind of came out and said Wilder's uncoachable. I don't know that. But I do believe that maybe Wilder could stand to use a hard-nosed trainer that they strong-willed. Like, Deontay Wilder's an alpha, okay? He's an alpha. You got to get coached by another alpha who gonna tell you like what the real is. Who gonna tell you the truth. They're not gonna lie to you. They're not gonna tell you you're a boxer when you're not a boxer. They're gonna play to your strengths. Your weaknesses, they're gonna work on that, but they're not gonna focus the weaknesses during a fight. They ain't gonna do that. See, a real trainer, they're gonna tell you the absolute truth. They're not gonna pacify you so you can keep paying them. A real trainer gonna tell you the truth. And I don't think a lot of these guys ready for an Antonio Tarver. I don't think they're ready for him. Because he ain't finna sit back and tell you that this gonna work for you. He gonna tell you, you do what the hell I tell you to do. And you do it the way I tell you to do it. Okay, that's what we doing, MF. A lot of these guys need that kind of trainer. But Ann Wolf, I heard the stories of Ann Wolf where a lot of these guys, they quit on Ann Wolf. Because these guys literally said Ann Wolf was too hard. Ann Wolf had grown men, had them crying. Had them out there crying because they talking about it's too tough. Like the Ann Wolf had these guys in tears, like crying. And these guys, they quit because they didn't want to do the work. They didn't want to train hard. And you saw what happened to James Kirkland. A couple other guys that came up with James Kirkland, they quit. They said Ann Wolf was too mean, too crazy. But I tell you what, Ann Wolf had these guys prepared. Ann Wolf had these boys prepared. And it's like, I don't know, this generation, they want to have it now while doing a little bit later. Instead of doing a lot now so they don't have to do a lot later. Like, that's how this generation think. That's their mindset. And it's crazy, man. But, I think he's right. He said the reason why these guys, these USA fighters, they're getting their asses handed to them is because they're not doing the training they're supposed to be doing. Say these UK fighters, man, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're training hard. They're not afraid of criticism. That's what it is. And remember, I told y'all the exception to the rule was Floyd Mayweather, Devin Haney, and Terrence Crawford. I think they're an exception to the rule because they whooping people's ass. And I also do believe that they do what they're supposed to do. Now, Antonio Tarver's criticism of Derrick James, I didn't think that was absolutely fair because, a lot of people weren't criticizing Derrick James before the Bud Crawford fight. I mean, folks, honestly, could it be that Bud Crawford is just a better fighter? Because I'm telling you, even if Errol Spence had Antonio Tarver in the corner, I don't think it would have made a difference. I just think Bud Crawford, his boxing IQ is just on a whole nother level. I don't care what weight class they got him fighting under, man. Bud Crawford is that dude. He's just that good. Bud is a hell of a fighter. Okay, I just think the criticism of Derrick James a little bit, some of it is unjust. Like, I thought he trained Errol to his strengths. The body attack. Now, trying to make Errol a boxer versus Terrence Crawford, that's stupid. But I do think that Derrick James did the best he could. It's just Bud is 5 levels above Errol when it comes to boxing. 5 levels. And that's just what it is. But I think for the most part, Tarver is right. I think if Wilder got with Tarver, even at age 38, I think Wilder would be damn near unstoppable. I think he'd be unstoppable. I think Deontay Wilder would be the Deontay Wilder of old. Because everybody's saying Father Time cut out with Wilder, this. Yeah, do I think the Fury fights took a toll? Yeah, I do. I think the Fury fights took a toll on him, But I think Deontay Wilder has learned from those Fury fights. I think he's learned. But I also believe that he need to bring back the windmill. I think he need to bring back what made him successful. I don't get the vibe from Antonio Tarver that he one of these old hating ass dudes, these older fighters that sit around hating on young fighters. I don't get that vibe. I think Antonio Tarver, genuinely, I think he wants to help. Like, I think he want to get a fighter up under his wing so he can show the world that these guys are lacking boxing knowledge. I think Wilder need to give him a try. But see, you don't reach out to a trainer like Antonio Tarver if you want somebody to pacify you. Okay, if you want somebody to let you run the show, that Antonio Tarver ain't the guy for you. He ain't the guy for you. Okay? Tarver's not your coach. He's not the coach for you if you're not gonna go in there and allow this man to do what he gotta do. Is Tarver crazy? Do y'all think Antonio Tarver talking too damn much? I don't know. But I do believe that Tarver hit the nail on the head when he said that these guys aren't doing the necessary training that they need to do.